Thank you. No, Carolyn, I will not have you do all that again for me failing to record. But I would like to take the opportunity to introduce Crystal Carrier, our scholarship chair. Good evening, Crystal.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here.
All right, it is my honor to introduce our guest speaker today, Dr. Yelena Revere from Echo Goes Mentoring, but she is also a 47-year educator with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. She actually, as I mentioned earlier, she left and said, you know what, the work is not finished, and came back. So we appreciate her volunteering tonight to be with us to talk about scholarship. Good evening, Dr. Revere.
Good evening. It's 42 years, not 47, 42.
Well, teaching eight is in dog years, but my apologies.
We're going to talk about tonight. My name is Dr. Yelena Revere of EdCo's Mentoring, Inc. And it's a guidance and college readiness opportunity training and educational consultant. And I do scholarship management on an individual basis, just like an individualized education plan. That's how I do my scholarships on an individualized basis according to the individualized student and their major. Next slide, please. Why scholarships and why scholarships matters. Scholarship matters because you are the author of your own life story, and whatever you write in that book, you put it there. You narrate your own story. And scholarships are important because you narrate your own story that I can do all things. And with doing that, you're going to go after the scholarships because, for one, no parent should have to pay for college at all. It does not matter what your major is. Half of the times the money go back to the funders because the kids are too lazy to write the essays. And it's simple. You get scholarships from I teach them from kindergarten all the way up to the masters and on the secondary level, how to get these scholarships. It is so much out there. And that's why you're the author of your own life story. Whatever you write in that book, that's what you want to be told. Next page, please. The mission of ECHO goes, I like to bridge the educational gap between low income and socioeconomical disadvantaged students. A little bit about myself. I've worked in what they call the poorest zip code in the nation in Overtown. I opened Booker T. Washington High School back up to a high school back in 1996, where we had 7 or 8 homeless shelters within the radius of the school. So I always told my students from over there, it's not where you come from, it's how you play your cards, how you stay in the game. And my sole purpose was to teach them how to stay in the game, which I taught them how to get these scholarships. And I did that by having a track record. I think I got about 6 or 7 students that got the Gates $1 Million Scholarship that pays up to their PhD. So I pretty much, if you in for the ride, I'm in to teach you how to ride. And it provides guided directions through road mapping, and we road map from 9th grade to 12th grade. How I do elementary, middle school, and I also teach them how to navigate. So by the time they get in the 9th grade, they are self-sufficient. They could go on their own. They don't need any more guidance because they pretty much done navigated the system that long. So I aim to enhance the youth mindset on scholarships to help them understand and expose them to post-secondary. Next slide. And of course, scholarships are something that is not to be paid back. It is something that they get. A loan is something that they pay back. That's why I like the word scholarship, because that means that's free and clear money. All you have to do is stay in school, keep your GPA up, and do whatever they're requiring for you to get the scholarship. Next. And reasons to apply for a scholarship. Again, like I said, I have the students to do a project, and we do it all the time. And the project is, I let them pick a public college and a private college, and what they are of their choice, which they want to go to. And they have to research everything about that college: room, board, food, books, tuition. And that lets them know how much money you need and how much scholarships you have to go after. So that gives them the reason for applying for the scholarships, because that let them know how much money they looking for. It is just tons of money. It's not a loan. It helps to minimize all the debt. And I always let them know that all of your money, you can get an overage check. And I explain what an overage check is. We take that overage money, I teach them how to let that be residual income for them. Start investing in the stock markets. I always tell them, invest in pharmaceutical companies. High blood pressure, it's not going anywhere. HIV and AIDS, it's not going anywhere. Start putting your money in places like there where it can make money for you while you in school. And it helps them to build their network of opportunities. Next slide, please. And things that, as a parent, to remember: a student will attend an institution or higher education, and they'll apply for the scholarships, but they could start applying for scholarships from kindergarten. So they're out there. Some of them are need-based, some of them are merit-based, but they are different types of scholarships, and they do all have deadlines. You just have to pay, find the scholarships and pay attention. I put out every month a scholarship bulletin, and my scholarship bulletins normally is 200-300 pages. But on my website, I got millions of scholarships. This is besides my website. And I just give it out to some students that I've been working with from middle school. And I just help them to keep their funds coming in. Next slide, please. And for 8th graders, pretty much what I do with the 8th graders, for helpful strategies, I let them know to do a 2-year plan. So they're going to plan out the 8th grade, and they're going to plan out their 9th grade year as to what they want to do. And I'm going to go back a little further. Starting in the 6th grade, they can do dual enrollment. Where they could do dual, if they have the capacity, the GPA, they could start doing dual enrollment at their community college. It's not called a community college anymore, it's called a university. They can go there and start taking dual enrollment. And of course, whatever county you're in, they pay the bill. They pay the bill for your classes. Also, they pay for your books. A lot of parents don't know that they can start in the 6th grade as long as they could pass the entrance exam. They are willing to go. I have a little young lady, she started in the 6th grade. She's in the 9th grade now. And by next year, she'll have her AA. And it's all paid for from Dade County public schools. let them explore taking, if they school have the AVID program, IB, Cambridge, AP honors. That's good in the 8th grade because those are all high school classes that will help them out. You let them build both academic and extracurricular, get a sound background, solid, because right now colleges are years ago they used to it used to be academics, not anymore. They want a well-rounded student, so now they looking at activities, they looking at community service, they looking at all of that to see if they getting a well-rounded student on their campus. You could have them to take the practice SAT and the ACT. I'm going to give out websites on the other page where you can have them doing the practice. And during the summer, you have colleges that have summer programs for your middle school kids, helping them out to do whatever. And they have STEM programs. They have all different types of programs. Next slide, please. 9th grade. Of course, in the 9th grade, parents, that is so when they need the most help, because they coming into 9th grade, they don't know what to expect. Time management is always not good for them, because they doing 6 to 8 classes a day, depending if they're on a 4x4 or a straight 6. They got to know they got 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes to change classes. So it takes a lot for our 9th graders to get acclimated to high school. So in August, they learning about themselves. September, they need to start planning their future. October, they need to start building a college foundation, some kind of college foundation. November, they need to become a well-rounded student. By November, they should be a little acclimated. By December, they should be maximizing what they're going to do on Christmas break. Where they're going to volunteer. Are you going to volunteer at a homeless shelter? Are you going to volunteer the Boys and Girls Club? Somewhere, just start doing volunteering during your break, because they looking at that. In January, they need to start understanding and learning about financing. Who's going to finance your college? Can your parents afford to finance your college? If not, then let's show you how you could finance your college, because everybody could go to college. You just got to buckle down and put your boots on. Then in February, you're going to take ownership of your own future. You're going to start seeing how to apply for scholarships, write them down in a black and white composition notebook, the date that you did it. You're going to learn some organizational skills. Then in March, you understand it, because at this time, it's time for you to start planning for your courses for the next upcoming school year. So you're going to get an opportunity to keep up with what classes you have to take and make sure you in alignment with what's required from the state. In April, you're going to start investigating what tests that you have to take for your graduation requirements. You're going to start looking into that. Also, in May, you're going to start looking ahead. And then at that point, you should have something in writing on your investigation, what you came up with. And then in June, you can start focusing on your fall. I know here in Dade County, we have what we call the summer youth internship program, where we pay the kids $1,500 for 5 weeks. And they get to work at a company of their choice, but they also getting real live work experience from these different companies. And that's a way to start them off with what they should do with their money and how they should save it. Next slide. I know I've talked a lot. Let me pause right now and ask, do anybody have any questions? Okay, if no questions, with the ninth graders, here are some scholarship information in that orange. It says CHEGG, CHEGG. And all of these are scholarships that they can start applying for right now. Raise Me is one that they use with their schedule. And that gives them micro dollars. Every semester, they can update it if they schedule change, or every year. They give them micro dollars according to the classes they have. And again, here's your online resources where you got SAT, the SAT subject test. You go to collegeboard.com. You got Khan Academy. You got SAT Prep. You got the ACT. You got actstudents.org, and you got ACT Prep. TFOL is for my ESOL students. Nimbus 2 and March 2 are for math tutoring. And that's for 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. By the time they get to the 12th grade, they really shouldn't be testing. Next slide, please. And in 10th grade, they have a roadmap. And in this roadmap, it's telling them what they should be doing, just like 9th graders, from August all the way to the summer. And they really should start getting a resume together, because colleges are asking for resumes. And they looking at those resumes, because I don't know who you are, but your resume give me a story of who you are. And that's why I'm asking for you to do a resume and keep it updated. So by the time it's time for you to go to college, that's one less thing you have to do, because you've been working on it your 4 years in high school. Next slide. And of course, it's the same scholarships for 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, like I put out before. The same resources. Yes, I do have Microsoft Word has resume templates for resumes. Microsoft Word, you just type in templates and resume, and it'll help you do what you have to do. Next slide, please. 11th grade. By the time they in 11th grade, next slide. By the time they get in the 11th grade, they should be ready. Already have started. I would advise you to take the SAT and the ACT in 10th grade. I mean, in 9th grade. Why 9th grade? Because it gives you a baseline as to what you need to study, as to what you need help on. And then you can start getting the help in the area in which you need your help. Because then by the time you get to the 11th grade, you should, that's your last year of testing. So when you go into 12th grade, you don't have to test anymore. And parents, it is so important to do the free and reduced lunch forms, because those forms is what give them their vouchers to take the SAT and the ACT for free. That voucher also gives them, they could go on to Common App and apply for 1,200 colleges from that one voucher. Or if they want to go to a historically Black college or university, they could go to the Common Black app and use that voucher, or pay $23, and you could apply to all 65 of the HBCUs that they have on their platform. So they making it easier and easier for our students to apply for college. And in the 11th grade, I like to work with them during the 11th grade year, because if they have a 3.4 or higher, they could apply for the Bill Gates $1 million scholarship, which pays through your PhD. But the kicker to that is you have to do 8 essays. So if you start working with them on the 11th grade year, by the time that summer comes, they have perfected the craft and they have their 8 essays. And those 8 essays is what they could use their whole senior year to apply the different colleges and universities. Those 8 essays is what they can use, because all they would have to do is cut and paste, and pretty much all of the scholarships are pretty much asking the same thing. So therefore, it is really not hard. Is once they get those 8, they are good to go. And then they could start applying. And the big money scholarships is from August to September. That's when you have your $100,000 and all of those different scholarships out. They are out from August to December. So make sure when you are applying, you make sure that you are ready and you doing what needs to be done.
Recording in progress.
So that is the best thing to do. Next slide. So those are all of the scholarships that the kids can apply for now.
Recording in progress.
So with that being said, my next slide for my 12th grade. Oh, sorry. Kids with disability, I work with them all. If you're a child, you got potential. Here are all of the things for them. I help them to do their, going into their senior year, to do their last IAP, to make sure that IEP is done properly, because that's what they're going to use when they're going off to college. Make sure that they have their books. Their books could be on ordered. Make sure they have somebody to go to class to take their notes. They get extra time, so they have to go into the department to take their tests, all of that. Make sure they have everything together, so by the time they graduate to go off to college, they can matriculate very well. The next slide, please. And the senior year. Here is the roadmap that I live by. They need to finalize their resume, have it trunk tight. I mean, really, really, really good. With no errors, no misspellings. Please run it through spell check. In September, that's when they will ask the teachers that really know them to go ahead and start doing a recommendation letter. Why in September? They just coming back from off of vacation. It is not busy, and they can do it. When you start waiting till things and testing and everything come up, the teacher's going to ask you to write the letter and then they'll sign it. No, you want to get them when they fresh so they can write it and they can do what they have to do for you. October, they will start completing in October they will start looking at whatever colleges they want, because early admissions is November 1st. So they'll start applying to all of their colleges in October for early admissions. It's getting harder and harder now. At these colleges and universities where they only take it in so many freshmen a year. And usually the early admissions get a bulk of those numbers. So that's why I always push for them to do early admissions. Next slide, please. And then by February or January, they need to do their FAFSA. Parents, the early bird get the worm. If they do their FAFSA in January, it would help with them doing all of their scholarships, because now some of the scholarships that are need-based, you have to attach your income, internal revenue with FAFSA. So that's a mechanism they got in place now. By February, if you applied for November 1st, by February, you would have await admissions. You should be getting your admissions letters. So we doing good. By May, April, May, they should be paying, they deposit for their housing. Next slide. And the tips for helping you to do your scholarships and helping with the process is you got to learn all of the required your required college and your prep courses. It also help you for your high school graduation, your requirements. You can go on florida.gov. It'll give you all of your requirements. Everybody here is from Florida. It would be nice if they go on and they could do Bright Futures. Bright Futures is also another scholarship. If you don't get academic, you could get vocational. If you've taken, and you're a program completer, and you've taken 4 classes in sequential order, you can get 75% of your tuition paid from a Florida school, just from being a vocational program leader. For Bright Futures is 100%, but vocational is 75%. So it's required. You need 4 English, you need 4 maths, you need 2 years of foreign language, 3 to 4 years of science, you need your 2 years of social studies, which a year of world history, a half a year of government, and a half a year of economics. You need your fine arts, and you need all of your elective courses. Make sure when you do electives, make sure you're doing it to be a program completer. Why program completer? Because that is the Bright Future 75% tuition for a Florida State school. Next. And good luck. Do anyone have any questions for me? The next slide have all of my information on there. And that's the information. If you need anything from me, you can email me. Next slide, Mr. Bruno. And thank you all. If you all have any questions, I'm here to answer you.
Thank you, Dr. Revere. And one of the things from your the presentation that I want to stress is dual enrollment. You know, we talk about extending the life of a scholarship, and one of the ways that you can do so is by taking opportunities for your child to go into dual enrollment, which if your child has the maturity, the skill set, and the patience, and you know as a parent, you're going to fully wrap around your child around the issue and supporting them, they can start taking it as early as 6th grade. Although I would recommend they start, sometime in 7th or 8th grade after they have an opportunity to enjoy or to understand middle school. Because if they ace those courses and they're staying in Florida and participating in our state university system or our community college system, that is one less class that they have to take, meaning their scholarship can support them in other areas where FAFSA or financial aid may not pick up. So we do have some questions here. I'm going to go to our president, Carolyn.
Karen was first.
Okay, go ahead, Karen.
Thank you. I'm asking for a friend. I have a friend who has a senior, and they're like, we don't know how we're going to pay for anything, and she's getting ready to graduate. And so I was hoping they would be on this one. Maybe they came to the noon, but I wanted to say, if they're just starting out right now, what is your best suggestion?
There are a lot of scholarships out there. There are tons of scholarships out there, but you would have to work hard and grind hard right now because school in June. So you would have to really go on to my website, and it's here, and go under the scholarship tab, and at this point really work hard. It could be
Okay.
done. Nothing is
Great, thank
impossible.
you.
Everything is
I took a picture of your screen. I'm going to send it to her and tell her what you said. Thank you so much.
Carolyn?
Thank you. Dr. Revere, do you have any recommendations when it comes to reference letters?
What they should do is go to a teacher that they know would write something positive about them, and they've been in a class over if this their 12th grade year, and they've been interacting with this teacher for 4 years. That teacher should know enough about them to write this academic letter.
A follow-up, if I may.
I didn't hear
Please.
you.
I have a follow-up, if I may.
Sure.
How do colleges look at reference letters that are copies versus originals?
They look at it. They look at
They
it.
s-
What you do is you're gonna give, because now everything has to be uploaded. So with it being uploaded, they know it'll be an original because they look at the signatures. And when you scanning it and uploading it, it uploads like it's an original once it uploads. Because now technology have it where everything you do now has to be uploaded onto their website, as opposed to, I guess, when I went to school, you had to mail everything in, snail mail. They don't do that anymore. Now
Exactly.
everything has to be uploaded.
Thank you, Dr. Revere.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if there are no further questions for Dr. Revere, I want to thank you for joining us this evening and this afternoon to talk about this very important process in our children's educational journey. Crystal,
Sorry, Jude. There's a couple questions in the chat.
not a problem. I was answering quite a few of them, but if you could do me the favor, read the first one so I can, okay.
Says, do you have any advice for a senior accepted to OOS schools already, but needing about 25,000 more after grants to afford the school?
I would have to see what is OOS schools.
Right. What is OOS schools?
Out of state.
Okay, sorry. Out of state. Again, that's what I said. When you have to go on and you need about 25K more. you to start putting in. It's possible, but you have to start right now, and you can go on to Scholarship 360, do a profile. You can go on to Wells Fargo have their website that you could go on. If you actually go to my website, it will help you out with everything you need, because it has millions of scholarships up there that can help facilitate this.
The second part of that question was also, do you know of any internships available to students after graduation?
After graduation, you pretty much have to go through, I think, Wells Fargo, no, Bank of America does internships. You just Google in, do a Google. Google helps us with everything we need, and put in internships, high school graduate internships, and everything will pop up right there at your fingertips.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Dr. Revere, for joining us this evening. Crystal, do you want to talk about Florida PTA scholarships?
Yes, I am excited to talk about what we are offering this year. PTA's mission is to advocate for every child, and the scholarship committee is going to do that by setting a minimum requirement of a 2.5 GPA. And aside from meeting the minimum requirement, the GPA will not be a determining factor in our decision. We also encourage all students with IEP plans and 504 plans to apply. And the deadline for those scholarships is February 29th. We have some fun events coming up at convention to plan to raise money for scholarship. Our first one is our annual county basket raffle competition. Pasco County won last year with over 20 baskets. Who wants a seat, the best seat in the house at the PTA's Got Talent show? And a special prize. County with the most baskets will win. Don't forget to reach out to your local units to ask them for help with donations and baskets to support your county.
So as Crystal mentioned, our scholarship deadline is February 29th. So please take opportunity if you have a high school senior that is eligible for them to apply. And Crystal, what are the county councils doing this year when it comes to their tables?
The county councils will be giving a tour of the Caribbean islands by having a best decorated table. I want to give a shout out to Orange County and Duval County for already claiming their island. Orange County will be representing Jamaica and Duval County will be representing Trinidad. I ask that everyone respond to the email and get your claim in, because it's a first come, first served basis on getting your island to represent. PTA's Got Talent is an event that you do not want to miss. It is filled with live talent that may or may not be good. You get to judge that with your wallet. We will also have live auctions and dancing. A DJ will be keeping this party hopping. Don't forget to get your $25 ticket when you register. I will see you on the dance floor Saturday night, July 20th.
Absolutely. I would be, since we are talking about scholarships, and if you are from Miami-Dade County, the scholarship application from Miami-Dade County will open on March 1st and it will close on March 31st. So I encourage you to visit Miami-Dade County Council PTA PTSA's website. And if you hail from Pinellas County, Their due date for their scholarship application is April 18th, and it is on their website, and it is available for you to apply. And if I did not announce your Seminole County's a scholarship application is due, I'm sorry, on March the 15th. So I encourage you to apply for their scholarship. And if I did not announce your county scholarship, please visit their website so that you can take advantage. More than likely, it is going to involve a PTA membership. So get your membership in today. Are there any questions for us before we give you back your evenings? I'm looking in the chat right now. If a county wants to claim a Caribbean island, they just need to reach out to Crystal or myself, and so that we can get them in line. I suggest that they give their top 3 choices just in case they submit for an island that might have already been claimed. We can move on to their next 2 choices. All right. If there are no further questions, I want to thank you all for joining us. To any of our EC members that are here, do you have any closing remarks about the various activities that we are doing to make every child's potential reality? Karen?
No, I'm good. I just thank everybody for coming, and the doctor's presentation was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to that party. At
Absolutely.
convention.
The party where we will not be wearing or talking about anything PTA related. Melanie?
Money, 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 money. Sorry.
Exactly.
And
We do
leave the
need
name
to
tags at home
announce-
in the hotel room.
we do need to announce leadership convention and all the wonderful things. If someone could do that for me, I'm driving.
Well, we'll let Carolyn end us off. I'm sure she got
Thank you.
she can give it justice. Carolyn?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the presentation, Dr. Revere. It was full of information, and our son actually got a number of scholarships, and you were right. You have to do your research, and it takes work, but it pays off. So do everyone, just as Dr. Revere shared, do your research, start early. Keep file folders with each of the schools that you plan to apply to. They may be electronic now. They were paper back then. So what's coming up? Leadership Convention is our premier event, which we host each year. We'll be back at the Omni Champions Gate Resort this year from July 18th through 21st. Reservations will be opening soon for the hotel, and registration for the actual event will open. During your registration, you do have an opportunity to add on 2 meal functions for events that we host each year. That is our awards and recognition ceremony for those of you who apply for awards, as well as our DEIJ, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice Luncheon, where we recognize the fact that we represent every child with one voice. So if it's not already in your budget for you to attend, and we do recommend at least 2 people from a local unit attend, Leadership Convention, now's the time to amend your budget to allow for you to have this very important, both professional and personal leadership training that will help you grow as a leader and help you on your leadership journey. We host Road to Success every Wednesday, generally at 12 and at 7 p.m. Our topics vary, but they are always educational and enlightening. So do come back and join us. The recording of this event will be posted onto our website on Friday because our offices are closed tomorrow because we have some regularly scheduled maintenance going on. So we won't get a response to emails or calls tomorrow, but we will get back with you on Friday. We have a couple of town halls coming up if you live in the Pasco or Orlando area, but information about that will be shared from your respective county councils. Back to scholarships, apply, apply, apply. It pays off. Thank you everyone for being with us this evening, and have a lovely remainder of the week. Florida appreciates you.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Good night. Good night. Great job.
All right, everyone.
Have a-
Good night.
No, everyone,
Take
good
tomorrow off.
job.
Take advantage of no email, no phones.
That just means they're gonna come back with guns blazing the next day.
That's
That's
all
right.
right. Tomorrow is a much needed day off. Good
Much
night, all.
needed.
Good
Good
night.
night.